the king of college football talk, and we always appreciate a visit from Bill on Tuesday afternoons. Bill, happy Tuesday and happy New Year to you. What's going on?
Yes, sir, guys. Good to be here.
Yeah, playoff football starts up again on Thursday. If I were to ask you, what do you think the number one offense amongst the four teams that are left is? Which of the four teams would you take?
Total yardage, points, which category?
Just the most complete. Just whatever you think is the best offense.
I would say if Ohio State's going to play this way, which is pass first to set up the run, and Travion Henderson and Quinshon Junkins, but in that order, are going to be as good as they are, it's got to be Ohio State. Plus, they've got Jeremiah Smith, who is a generational freshman wide receiver talent.
You got him and Ibuka, right? Yeah, both those dudes are going to play on Sunday. They are absolutely explosive. Hey, if you were gonna rank these four quarterbacks, because I know in the NFL you get to playoff football, you kind of who has the better quarterback. How do you rank these four quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs?
Is the calculation high-end Sunday or
high end? Who's got the most talent? You know, not necessarily the offense, but who's the best of the quarterbacks? If you had to pick your guy to start a team with or whatever.
These four, I would go with Drew Aller first. I'd go with Ewer second. I would go with Will Howard third, and then Riley Leonard. And by the way, Riley Leonard is perfect for what they're doing. So it's not a knock on him. It's just he's not a balanced quarterback.
Yeah, I only think two of them play on Sundays. I think Drew Aller and Quinn Ewers play on Sunday. Yeah,
right.
Well, how do you expect Penn State can try to defend against how Notre Dame moves the ball? Do you stack it up there and dare him to throw?
Yeah, they're if they have to throw to win the game, I doubt they can do it. Now they can throw within the balance of the offense, but if you got to throw, we have to give up our stars, which would be the running backs. The other problem is that Jeremiah Love, who I think is the best running back in the country, Notre Dame sophomore, has got a bad knee. Well, he's got a gimpy knee. And I was watching some practice clips, not that you get to see much, but he's limping around out there. And he got it hurt in that last game. Now, Jadarian Price, the other running back, is a fantastic running back as well. And Aeneas Williams is a freshman. They play a lot. They're good at running back, but Love is the best running back in this tournament, so to speak. So that would be a problem, but he's not I think he's a go, but I don't think he's going to be 100%.
Why does it feel like Penn State is fourth best out of these four teams? And what does Penn State do well enough? If they're going to beat Notre Dame, what are they going to have to be able to do well enough?
One-dimensional, first of all, like we talked about offensively, and then probably get Notre Dame out in space. This is a incredibly well-coached Notre Dame team on both sides of the ball. Mike Gembrock, offensive coordinator, Al Golden, defensive coordinator, probably the best set of coordinators in the country on one team. And the other thing is, as good as Notre Dame's been on defense, everybody has isolated out their one cornerback, Christian Gray. And it's been a struggle, and he's lost a lot of confidence. And I would think that from the very get-go, they're going to pick on him. And you've talked about him. They've got the best tight end in the country in Ty Warren. And that's a very difficult matchup for Notre Dame. I don't care who you got at linebacker. That's a losing matchup.
What is it about Marcus Freeman that's gotten Notre Dame to where they are? Why do you think he has been so successful so quickly?
Because he did not buy into the theory from Brian Kelly, which I like Brian, but that we have to shop down a different aisle to get guys here. And you can still get talent, but we just can't chase Johnny Five-Star as much. And they're doing it, and they're having more success at it. And I just think it's believing. I think it's the perception publicly that you believe. It's the ability to sell it to the players. Let's face it, guys, he's learned a lot on the job, too. I mean, made some horrible mistakes a year ago in the Ohio State game early on when they could have won that game. He's made mistakes on the field. He's had to grow as a coach on his own. That's been difficult. I think we've seen a guy really rise up the last couple of years as a head coach.
All right, Bill, it's unofficial. Well, it is kind of official, but you're winning our contest. Who do you have in these two games? I mean, you've picked everyone right so far. Who do you got in these two games coming up?
Well, assuming that Will Howard stays clean, which he has in the first two games, Ohio State's not going to lose. I can't see it. You'd have to score a whole bunch of points. I don't think that happens. A big pointsy game is not good for Texas. Now, this is be as good a defense as Ohio State's seen, but they've got to get to Will Howard. I'm assuming they don't do it enough, so I've got Ohio State winning. And that other one, I'm playing mental gymnastics with. I'll go with Notre Dame and say that the James Franklin stigma, which is can't win big game, sticks. But either way, that one is a absolute coin toss.
That one is going to be, kind of who wins the turnover battle and who can kind of score first. Can somebody get up 10 early first and kind of get the other one out of their rhythm? If they can, I think that one they'll just be in super control. But that's kind of your mindset because it's almost like who's the first one to score like 19 points in that Penn State Notre Dame game.
Yeah, I doubt that. If that gets points, I don't think that's good for Notre Dame. I'm with you. Probably low 20s, 23-21, 24-21, 21-17 type game. And I think getting behind early, let's say more than a touchdown, is worse for Notre Dame.
Back in the Cotton Bowl for a quick moment, because you'd mentioned you think for Ohio State it's pass to run. What about Texas? I was just shocked that they were unable to move the ball on the ground against Arizona State when they ran for nearly 300 against Clemson. They got a couple of really great running backs, a good offensive line, so it didn't make very much sense. What's the balance there for Texas? How can they open things up? Because I agree with you. They need it to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, this thing cannot be those receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, the tight end, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Junkins. They can't be in green grass all day, or you just pack it up. That's a bad sign for Texas, but they're going to throw to set up the run. And you're right, they're not that good of a run team. Certainly in a situation like this, they're very good at wide receiver. Their best receiver, one of their best receivers is Isaiah Bond, who transferred from Alabama, and he's had an ankle for about half the year that's just been irritating the heck out of him. He'll play well, and then he'll start limping around. You guys have seen that through your years, too, and they need him to be right. He's a home run hitter if he's right. They've got one of the best young freshman receivers in the country that they got out of St. Louis, very highly recruited kids. They've got talent, but the key to that game is the line of scrimmage, but specifically the Texas defensive front, which is very stout, and their ability to disrupt Will Howard. If they can't, you can switch the channel.
What's your opinion on the overall 20,000-foot perspective topic of college football right now, in which the SEC has slipped a little bit and is not the dominant conference that it had been before, and potentially, the Big Ten may be, if you look at it in these terms, a quote-unquote better conference overall in football. Is it a blip on the radar, or is this something it's like you worry about it with the SEC? It's not like the SEC is about to drop into ACC or Mountain West levels or anything. It's still an amazingly great football league. It's not what it had been. Why is that?
I think it makes good social media banter, and it's acrimonious, it's polarizing. I don't think we have near enough data to go there. Now, I'm not saying that can't be the future. I'm just saying I'm skeptical about taking 1 year and saying this makes it the law of the land. Fact is, the SEC beat each other up a lot this year. Maybe not Texas with their schedule, but inside that league it was tough. Georgia with 2 losses. Georgia is, by their standards, down, particularly offensively. Alabama's down by their standards. You can't be as good as you need to be with those two teams not being what they need to be. And that's where it all starts and stops. Now, Texas has helped a lot because Texas, for the first time since 2009, last year and this year, they're back. And they're going to stay as a national threat. But you've got to have Georgia and Alabama as threats more so than they are right now to have your league right. And I think that day is going to return for them.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.